Hi, welcome to Making All the Plans. I'm Connie, and if we haven't met before, I'm a busy mom of two active kids, and both my husband and I have full-time careers. My goal is to share with you how I stay on top of all life throws at me in one planner so that you might be able to do the same. I don't do hauls a lot, but I did want to share the back-to-school items that I got for myself. And originally, I was not going to do a voiceover for this, but I was very noisy when I opened all the packages and took things out of the bag. So I did go ahead and redo this with a voiceover. The first set of pins that I got was the Uniball Zinto, and I really like how these write. They are super smooth, and I think they're just gorgeous pins in and of themselves. And they are very similar to the Uniball 1 pens that I have, but I really like these and I think they're professional and sharp looking. The barrel is a little bit wider than most pens, and I really like how they feel in my hand as well. This next set of pens I have been eyeing for quite a while. These are the Paper Mate Ink Joy pens, and they are medium tip or '07 tip. And I just liked the variety of colors that the package had. It was very eye-catching, and even though I don't use colored pens a lot in my planner, I do like to use them when I'm taking notes for work or notes in other areas. I do prefer using my erasable pen still for my planner, but these write so smooth as well, and the colors are just so pigmented, I guess is the right word, but I really like how they write. And I will just write out what it is. I'll go back and do the same thing for the Zinto pen, and just so that I can keep track of what each one is and what the weight of each pen is. So again, this is the Uniball Zinto, and it's also a medium point. For just general writing, I do prefer a medium tip pen. I feel like in the gel, it just writes a little smoother, and I really am looking for that smoothness when I'm writing. And I realized that I had left this hot pink in the package, so I did go ahead and grab it. And my favorite color to write with is teal, and so I had to try out the teal. And I don't know why a lot of the teal pens are so juicy, but I love just the juiciness and the smoothness of most of the teal pens. I think that's one of the reasons why I like it so much. And then I had to try out the yellow. I do think that it is a good bright yellow, and I think that the lime green is also a good lime green. I might have to start swatching all of my pens though, so that I can keep track of which colors I like the best from each set. I also grabbed the Papermate felt tip flare pen. I have loved these for a long time. I had gone away from them for quite some time, but I had been craving something other than a gel pen, but with a lot of color options, and I've always liked how these write. And the funny thing about these pens is I feel like I always print when I am using this felt tip pen, and I feel like my handwriting is good or at least decent when I'm using these pens. So I'm not sure why I went away from them for so long, but I'm really enjoying bringing these back into my collection. But there are a lot of color options here. There are some that are very close together, and I'm not sure if there's any repeats. I didn't think there were, but again, I need to swatch them so that I can tell if those two oranges are actually different enough to tell to the naked eye. So there's a couple oranges that are close, and then there's a couple of the maroonish purple ones that also look like they could be very similar. So I'm excited to swatch everything. I also really liked the navy blue from this flare set. So a lot of good color options here. Again, they just write very different from a gel pen. So I was happy to bring something a little different into my repertoire of pens. But look at all these beauties, and when you gather them all up together, it's like a bouquet of flowers. I do think that my love of back to school supplies is a little odd, especially since I'm not a teacher and I'm not currently going to school, but I definitely use it as an excuse to buy some new things for my stash. So the next thing I got were these mild liners. I do already have a small collection of mild liners, but I really liked the colors here. I do feel like there are a few that may be similar to what I already have, but those beiges and that green color at the end, I definitely don't have anything like that in my stash. And I like that they're light enough where when you highlight something, it is not going to overpower what you've written. Sometimes when I go to highlight things, it kind of makes me not be able to read what's underneath it very easily. Hopefully that makes sense. So I like these lighter colors. And I really wanted to try out this green color before I moved on, but I really think that this is a good sage color and it will really go with a lot of floral stickers that I have in my collection. I also really like this beige. It's hard to see on the paper, but it's just a really good neutral color. And then I'm sure you can see peeking out of the bag some friction highlighters, and I do think I have all of these colors. I'm not sure about the green, but I'm pretty sure that I have them all. I was hoping that it had one of the orangish, peachy orangish colors in it, but it did not. I do need to find another one of those because I keep misplacing that one since I use it most frequently. It is usually the color I use for work, so I would like another one of those. But I just wanted to have a second set so one could live in my backpack and one could live at my desk so that I didn't have to continually pack and unpack them. But since I use them for most videos, I definitely wanted to have a set that just stayed on my desk. And here I am just showing the ease of erasing the friction highlighter. And the last thing that I bought writing utensil wise was a 10 pack of fine tip Crayola markers. And only because my older ones, I have written with them for so long that the tips are not as pointy as they once were. And these were, I think, $1. So I couldn't really pass up the dollar. I do love how these Crayola fine tip markers write. I love how vibrant the colors are. I like that they dry quickly and they don't smear. And I like that they last for quite a long time. There was a time where I was using these Crayola fine tip markers every single day, and I never had to replace the box. The only time I've ever replaced the box is when I wanted sharper tips. And then I went ahead and bought two more packages of the 2x2 Post-its since I use them all the time. I was super excited to pick up that last orange one. I don't have that color yet. And then last but not least, I grabbed these grid notebooks. And again, these were, I think, $1.50, less than $2 for sure. And I like to stock up on these during back to school season because they're usually about $4 if they're not on sale, and I use them all the time. I do have a video coming up where I talk more about the grid notebook. The other thing that I did decide to stock up on before I end this video are some pencil cases. And I bought a few extras just because they are sometimes hard to find when it is not back to school season. My daughter broke hers last year and we could not find another one. So I went ahead and bought a few extras. This one I really like the color. I thought my son would use it if he needed it. It had an exterior pocket as well as two inner pockets. This light gray one is pretty cool because it sits flatter than most of them. So there's a very flat bottom, and if you opened up your pen case, it would be very easy to actually find the color you were looking for without doing very much digging. So I really liked the idea of that one, and even though I bought it so the kids could use it if they wanted, both of them have said they don't need any of these. So these will just go into storage, but I can definitely see myself using that gray one that opens flat. I also just thought this green one was really pretty, and it is pretty big. So if I wanted to take all those flares with me, I could easily pack them up, and there still is plenty of room at the top for either some washi tape or my 2x2 post-its. I could even throw in my ruler. There is plenty of room for a lot of extra tools in this little green pen case. I was a little surprised at how big it actually was and how much it held. So the green one and that dark gray one are just about the same size. The difference between the green and the dark gray was that the gray had those extra pockets in it. So it had that extra exterior pocket and then the two interior pockets. I do kind of like that exterior pocket because you could put your tools on the outside and then you could put your pins on the inside. And then if you wanted to use those little pockets, you could put your 2x2 post-it notes in there and they won't get all dinged up with the pins banging around against them. So I kind of like all of them for different reasons, and I will just grab one as I need it and throw in the supplies that I need for whatever trip I'm going on next. So let me know down below if you got any planner supplies or any back to school supplies for yourself this season. And if so, what has been your favorite item? Or even what is your go-to item that you get every year at this time? And I will try to link everything down below. I think most everything came from either Staples or Target, and I think it's hard to find the pencil cases online, but I will try to link them. If you like this video, don't forget to hit like and subscribe, and if you're interested in knowing more about how I use that grid notebook, go ahead and hit the little bell for notification of my future videos. I hope that everybody has a great back to school season, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.